Greetings my dears in love and light, I'm Nikki Sutton and welcome to the July 2018 Ascension Energy Update for you. So I'm out in nature this time. I thought it'd make a nice change. I don't want to make you dizzy, so I'll try and stay still. I'm going to be trying to do more videos out in nature because it just is more natural. And do you know what? Right now I am grounding my feet, because you know that electrical circuits need to be grounded. Now we are beings full of electrical energy and we need to be grounded too. And what I want to say is that the current energies really are strong at the moment in terms of affecting us emotionally. So it's not just physically but emotionally, and you might find that everyone in your household suddenly gets really grumpy and no one's really sure why. Why is everyone suddenly grumpy? Now this can definitely happen as a result of the energies. Next on this Ascension Energy Update for 2018 July, that is to give yourself more credit for things, because there's a bit of a pattern perhaps at the moment where people are feeling like they can't quite do things on their own. They're not sufficient, they're not enough on their own. But I just want to tell you that you are enough and that you are always enough. There's no way that you are not enough. You are always. If there's someone in your life that's making you feel like you're not enough, then that means that there's likely something inside of them that is causing them pain or has caused them to suffer illusions. If there's someone in your life that's making you feel like you don't do things right, that you're not adequate, you're inadequate, that you're not sufficient, then consider for a moment that it might be something within them and not you, because you're trying your best. And this is another thing that can demotivate you. So I just want you to know that you are definitely enough. You're more than enough. You are an infinite being with infinite potential. We are just under illusions that that's not what we are, but that is what you are. And so therefore you can sympathize with that person who's treating you that way, if there is someone, or it might be in your past, because they're the ones that need healing themselves. Because if they were really truly healed, they would help you through, they would encourage you and be more supportive, and then you can be mutually supportive and kind to them too. But if they're criticizing you and make you feel like you're not enough, know that it's something within them, not within you. But that feeling of not being enough, you don't have to accept that. You don't have to accept how they're behaving towards you. Don't let that insufficiency, that feeling of shame, grow within you. Let it stop and know that it's coming from them and from a place of sadness or insufficiency themselves. Oftentimes people who feel inadequate or insufficient themselves, they make others feel the same way to bring them down to their level as a way of self-comfort. So don't let it happen to you. You're an infinite, immortal being, so you are definitely more than enough. Next on this Ascension Energy Update for July 2018 is making sure that you don't work too hard. You know that in this reality we are pretty much brainwashed to be good little workers, you see, in order to help economies grow, to be good workers within the system, to help rich people be rich. And just to stop and remind yourself, because this is one thing that we realise during a spiritual awakening, that a lot of the time we're working for materialistic desires and materialistic ends, and we might have our priorities a bit wrong. But I just want to remind you today of that fact, just in case it slides out of view, because sometimes it can, because we are confronted with a lot of advertising and PR and brands and all sorts. For example, you're on Facebook just chatting to your mates, and then there's adverts in between, all the rest of it, and the same on YouTube and all of that. So just to remind you that as an infinite being in this energetic reality, that although you've been indoctrinated into a system that has caused you to believe that constant hard work is the absolute absolute necessity that you must do in order to increase your own self-worth and be able to have enough to live and all of that. Just remember that you're doing yourself a disservice and probably making yourself ill by not giving yourself a break. So sit down and have a break, and when it is time for work, you will work much better. You'll have more energy, you'll feel more creative, you'll feel more motivated if you haven't burnt yourself out. So just a reminder at the moment to not work too hard. Take a break, chill for a bit, recharge your vital energies, and then you'll feel better when you do go back to your work. That you're not put on this planet just to work and to try and generate money. If you believe that is the case, then you'll always be in that vibration and you'll always need to work very hard to generate money. If you believe that abundance is yours, you already have it, and it's there for you with less work, then that will be the case. A lot of us like to work. I like to work very much, but I do risk being a bit of a workaholic sometimes because I like to work very much. I've had to look at that deeply. Is that due to a false belief that I must work all hours in order to be successful? Because I know my parents were like that before they retired. But I enjoy it so much what I do. I tend to be a bit of a workaholic anyway, but it's important to let yourself off the hook and know that it's not really necessary, and to have a rest, and you'll do better work anyway when you do go back to it. So next on this Ascension Energy update for July is perhaps a little bit of blocked creativity, unfortunately, possibly due to electromagnetic energies, as I was saying. If you're experiencing blocked creativity, you're trying to get a project done, you're trying to create something and just not getting inspiration, or perhaps lacking motivation, then it's a good idea to look for new sources of inspiration, something to excite you, something to inspire you and help to get you going, because motivation cannot just be created out of thin air. We need to have new motivators and reasons for doing what we do. So we might be procrastinating quite a bit at the moment, unable to focus on what we're doing, unable to just get going with our work, unable to get going with projects, and not just because of a lack of creativity but a lack of motivation there. So what I say to that is to picture whatever it is done and ready and finished, because then you're manifesting that thing done. So picture it done, how great it feels, and then it's almost like it will do itself. So next of all on this Ascension Energy update for July is manifesting our own realities, and try not to forget how easy it is to manifest our own reality, because sometimes we forget, we fall off the wagon a little bit. We get swept up in certain things in our lives, certain things we're aiming for, certain things we want, or people are being a bit funny with us, or we're just experiencing slightly negative things sometimes, and then we think, well, how did I manifest that, and what's the point, and how do I manifest a better reality if that kind of thing is happening to me? But it's to just remind you right now that we do manifest our own reality, and all is thought. And by reminding you that, hopefully you'll be able to take it by the balls again and try and manifest something better for yourself. So the message is, don't forget that you do create your own reality. Your thoughts, what you believe. If you believe something's going to turn out a certain way, there's a higher probability that it will. If you're daydreaming about something turning out a certain way, it's much more likely to, because you're visualizing it and feeling what it feels like. So have a daydream. You see, what I say about daydreams, thinking of the future, these are future memories. These are us painting the picture of our future, telling creation what it is that's going to happen, and creation makes it happen. It increases the probability of things turning out a certain way if you imagine the future, if you think about the future. So when you think about the future, make sure your manifestations are good ones. Make sure your daydreams are good ones. and then it increases the probability that those things will turn out that way as well. So next is a reminder on this Ascension Energy update for July to eat healthfully. Okay, this is quite basic, but you must remember that fruits and vegetables are full of light. Now, DNA is light. It's like a light code. It's a code written in the code of our reality for what will be. So there's a code for me, there's a code for you, and how we've turned out. That's our code, our blueprint. So when you have processed foods or things that are somewhat slightly unhealthy, those molecules have been affected. Things have been boiled up, broken down, processed. And in that processing, what we are eating, the foodstuffs or things we're drinking, they lose light. And we want to eat more foods that contain light because it's of a high vibration and it really is nurturing for us. We are beings of light. You are already a light being. Never mind ascending and becoming a light being, you're already a light being. So you want to consume live vegetable matter and fruits that are full of light to nurture you already being a light being. Many scientists believe that fundamental particles of matter are actually light. That all is really made of light. Like scientifically, this is not just me saying this. All is light. So your physical body, although you perceive it as being solid, it's actually made of light. We just perceive everything as solid because we decode it that way when we interact with our reality. Just like when we're having a dream, we decode it as real and we believe everything around us is real, unless you're having a lucid dream, of course, knowing you're dreaming. But in our reality, all is light. It's all decoded and we decode it as being solid. So get in those fruits and vegetables, get in those live smoothies. When you buy smoothies, they are pasteurized and it breaks down the good enzymes, there's less light in them. Make smoothies, get lots of fresh fruit and veg in them and down one of those, and that is the easiest way to get light straight into you. Anyway, there's so many lovely butterflies around. When I see butterflies, I take that as a sign from my spirit guides that they are there with me. When I see a white feather, I take that as a sign that my dad is around because he passed on in 2011, just before my second child was born. So I take that as a sign that they are there with me. But I think there's likely to be a lot of butterflies around here at the moment anyway, because it is particularly lovely here right now. There hasn't been a lot of rain, so everything's gone a bit brown. Anyway, so after the solstice we had, it brings in a time of change. It's bringing in the new. And what I want to say to you is to allow the new to come in and embrace it. And at first, things that are new might not seem absolutely right or perfect, or it can take some getting used to. Like you might have met someone new, sort of oddly by chance, or there's something new you have to do, a new way of doing something, a new project, a new role, a new job, even a new book, or anything at all, anything that's new at the moment. Just welcome it in, even if it feels a little bit difficult at first to incorporate into your reality. Just stay with it. We have nothing to fear. All is in perfect divine order. So when the new comes along, even if it might seem a little bit outside of your comfort zone, a little bit outside of the box, try and welcome it in anyway and give it a chance, that's for sure. And next on this Ascension Energy update for July 2018 is a reminder to look at the beauty in life. Remember not to get drawn into your thoughts too much. Oftentimes we can walk around just in our heads all the time. I mean, look at this beautiful scenery that I'm in now. I could walk around thinking about things that need thinking about, being completely immersed in my own mind, and let all this just pass me by completely unnoticed. And it's amazing that we do that. We walk around completely immersed in our thoughts and our worries and our fears and our anxieties and thinking about the future and regretting the past and all of that, wishing for this, wishing for that, and we don't see what's around us. I admit that I can see a few chemtrails, but I'm not going to think about that right now. But I wouldn't want to miss what's around me right now. It's absolutely beautiful. So a reminder to you is to come back into the now, come back into the present moment and see what's around you. Because you know, we can spend a lifetime working towards something that we're aiming for, and all the while our life is passing us by. And then once we achieve those things we're working for, we realise a lot of time's gone by and we're unable to have time to enjoy it. We realise our kids have grown up, we realise we're 10 years older, and so we're constantly looking to these far horizons to make us happy, these things that we're aiming for, and all this time has gone by and it's like, oh gosh, you know, I've missed my life. Whoops, my head was always in the future. So while you're working towards this, that and the other you're probably aiming for, come into the present moment and live your life as it is now, because the now is all we have. Enjoy what you have, enjoy your home, enjoy your friends, enjoy your family, enjoy your children, your pastimes, all your creative bits and bobs. Don't let time pass you by. Pay attention to every step of your life, not just the bits you're working towards, being wrapped up in those. And appreciate the beautiful days. Each day is a beautiful day. Each day is a brand new chance to do something new, to achieve more and to enjoy this reality, because we're just here for a short time really. Next on this Ascension Energy update for July 2018 is sometimes we might wonder where our spirit guides are, why they aren't communicating with us right now. Because sometimes we'll ask for help with something and there won't be an answer, nothing will happen. And this has been a question that's come along recently, actually a couple of times. And when this occurs, when we feel like our spirit guides aren't answering us or there's nothing happening, it can often be because it is something that we need to sort out for ourselves. The spirit guides aren't able to step in with everything if it's something we've chosen before we're born to be able to deal with. So if there's no answer coming, there's no perceived help coming, but there is in other areas of life, maybe this is a point for you to think, okay, how can I meet this challenge myself? It's something I need to figure out on my own probably. You could ask your spirit guides the best way to help you to figure it out on your own, the best way to meet that challenge, or even to help you to learn the lessons you're supposed to be learning. But not asking them to provide the solution for you, because maybe you have to figure it out on your own this time. So when your guides aren't answering you, try not to feel disheartened, because they are always there. It might just be that it's something that you need to meet the challenge yourself, you need to learn from it yourself, and they'll be there next time. They're still with you. Everyone has guides. You are an infinite immortal being. Not to take life too seriously. Enjoy your time here. It is wonderful if that's what you imagine it to be. If that's what you visualize that life is wonderful. And so that is the end of my message today of this Ascension Energy update for July 2018. I'm sending you much love and all the best. Take care. And remember to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.